The Nether is full of different structures and various alien-like creatures that lie across the map, but we never get a clear answer as to how they got there or where they came from. Well, by analyzing secret hints and lore put into the game, we can piece together the events that happened a long time ago. So let's start at the beginning. Long ago, the Nether was called the Kingdom of Neph, a place home to the Nephians, a peaceful tribe of monks who lived in harmony along with the creatures populating this world. Above the kingdom was the Hole of Death, which separated their world from the surface. No Nephian was allowed to go to the outside, as their philosophy said that they should be happy where they are and never look for more. Throughout the years, the Nephians had built entire structures made to protect one thing, the Star of Hope. This star was believed to be the piece that kept the entire kingdom alive. But one day, something happened that would change everything. The Nephians had a tradition. Every 1,000 years, a baby would be born with a scar on his face, and that baby would go on to become King of Neph. So one day, in a small village, a baby was born. His name was Crimson.
Hello.
Oh my god, he has a scar! My son is a king! The people cheered as a new king had just been born. They believed he had been sent by the gods to lead the people to greatness. As he grew up, the young king started developing special abilities like being able to cure people's diseases or making plants grow faster. Wow, how did you do that? He used these powers to help the people of his kingdom, and everyone loved him. But while Crimson loved his kingdom, he'd always been curious as to what lied beyond the hole. Of course, he never talked about it, as wanting to go through the hole was considered a sin in their culture. But one day, he noticed a silhouette coming down from the hole. The figures flew down from the sky, and out came a group of people. He had never seen people from the outside. See, although Nephians aren't allowed to go to the surface, people from the outside regularly visited the kingdom for trades and exploration. As they were wandering around, Crimson noticed that they had items he had never seen before. Shiny golden armors, tools like pickaxes or swords. These were all things you weren't able to get in the Kingdom of Neph. The color and beauty of the gold fascinated him.
Wow, that suit is so pretty. Dad, could we go to the surface and take some of these resources?
No, son. You know we aren't allowed to go up there. It's against our culture. It is said that if a Nephian ever goes to the surface, it would be the end of the world.
That's not fair.
Crimson was stubborn. He spent days thinking about what he saw, not being able to take his mind off the gold that the outsider was wearing. He knew the philosophy of his kingdom was against chasing something you couldn't have, but this simply felt unfair to him.
Who even made these rules anyway?
So one night, without alerting anyone, he snuck out of the fortress and used his powers to dig a hole all the way to the surface. As he arrived at the top, he saw the overworld for the first time. He looked out and was amazed to see how beautiful and magical the outside was.
Wow, this place is so pretty.
He had never seen animals like this. Mountains, trees, rivers. He was already falling in love with this place. But all of these emotions went away as he realized none of the people from his kingdom would ever get the chance to see this.
Why weren't the Nephians allowed to go up there? This isn't fair. We're stuck in a giant cave while people get to live up here? I need to stop this.
As a king, he had the responsibility to lead them to a better life, so he was going to tell them about what he saw. He went back down to his kingdom and gathered everyone for an announcement.
My dear people, I have decided that we will all extend our kingdom to the world of the surface.
Everyone in the audience was shocked and baffled at what they had just heard, and started wondering why he would say such a thing. After all, going to the outside was considered treason, but the people trusted their king too much, so they kept listening.
I have seen the outside. It is the prettiest thing I have ever witnessed. I'm inviting anyone who is interested to come and explore it with me.
The entire crowd stayed silent. Not a soul stood up to come with him, except for a group of people who decided they would go with him. So for the next few days, they started building a staircase that reached all the way to the hole. As they entered the overworld, their jaws dropped. This was the prettiest place they had ever seen. Soon, they started making a base using the new blocks from this mysterious world. But soon after, a group of men wearing armor noticed them. Hey, you guys are Nephians! You aren't supposed to be up here!
Oh, don't worry, we simply moved. This place is great.
No, this is our territory! You are not allowed to build here!
But we are good people. Can't we all just live in harmony in this place?
That's it! Take them down!
No!
Crimson watched in horror as dozens of his tribe members got murdered by the men.
I need to go back in the hole.
Crimson had just witnessed his own people getting killed because of his decision. It made him angry. This wasn't fair. He wanted to bring them up here so they could have a better life.
How dare they do this to us?
Filled with rage, he ordered everyone to go up and defeat the people who wronged him. Oh god, I think there's more this time! Run! But before they could go further, the king used his magical powers and threw a spell at them, and the men turned into green, lifeless creatures.
With my powers and our army, nobody will ever wrong us again.
Slowly, the army of Neph took over the overworld, building underground cities to hide from the outsiders. He ordered them to gather resources. They made armor for the first time and were becoming more powerful than ever. But what Crimson wanted the most was gold. He was obsessed with it. Unfortunately, behind his back, his people people weren't happy. They believed he was starting to be fueled by power instead of standing for peace like he said he was. Eventually, they found an entire kingdom built by the outsiders.
If you don't give us your gold, we will take over your kingdom.
Go ahead, we'd like to see you try.
And just like that, the king used these powers to turn every single archer into lifeless skeletons. Nothing could stop the Nephian army. Eventually, they used their resources to destroy the kingdom's ceiling entirely, which accidentally made all the lava from the caves above flow into the place we once called home, forming lava lakes and burning the now empty villages.
It doesn't matter. This place represents our past. We need to move to the future.
The Nephians abandoned the cave they lived in for millions of years, and every part of that world started decaying. The flowing lava filled up the valleys and burnt almost all remaining nature. But the king needed more power, so he decided to take the most vital part of his former kingdom for himself, the Star of Hope. Taking that star would give him power so great, he could take over the overworld in an instant.
Since you two are my most loyal soldiers, I believe we should all free share the powers of the Nether Star.
Yes, sir. But as the free men took the star, a giant explosion of light happened, and they all started merging into one unstoppable creature. His army kept taking lives, raiding villages, and stealing resources, to the point where people started calling him the Wither, as any place he went to would wither away and die. But the Nephian people weren't happy. Their blind trust for their leader had led them to go against everything they once stood for. What was once considered a group of peaceful beings were now barbaric raiders that would destroy anything and anyone who stood before them. This wasn't making their lives better. If anything, the constant fighting made it worse. So one day, Crimson's mom stood up for the people and confronted her son. Son, you need to stop this. We're tired of the raiding. You promised you would give us a better life by bringing us here, but you're forcing us to destroy everything we come across. We are a tribe that stands for peace, not war.
This is peace, mother. Don't you get it? These people are evil. We're eliminating them so that peace is the only thing left.
Death is not peace.
That's it. We're going back to the Neth Kingdom.
No, I am the king. You do what I say. If I say you need to get me gold, you get me gold.
We won't keep getting gold for you, and no amount of your magic powers will make us do that.
Oh yeah?
In anger, the king used his power against his own people, turning every one of them into pigs that could only think about one thing, getting gold for him. Now they would finally listen.
I'm sorry, mother, but this empire needs to grow.
The king and his new army of piglins went back to the cave to prepare a better plan in order to take over the overworld. He used these powers to make blazes and gas, throw fireballs instead of seeds, and slowly all the beautiful nature turned into red, burning blocks. He hated this place. He believed it represented a flawed philosophy that once prevented people from thinking for themselves. Now the only thing they could think of was to obey him. But one day, a man came up to him. He was the last Nephian alive. Son, what have you done? This place was meant to be for us, and you ruined it.
How are you alive, father? And how dare you question me?
I am the man whose job is to restore the balance. Your reign ends now.
That's it, old man. You're done. What? How are you still alive?
You have tarnished what was once a good place. You let it wither away and die. All that for gold?
I am the king. You don't tell me what to do with my powers?
The man then flew into the sky and started rebuilding the ceiling that once separated the kingdom of Neph from the overworld. Instead, this time, he built it out of bedrock so that nobody could ever exit this place again.
No!
The Wither King was now trapped for eternity in a kingdom that he had destroyed out of greed. This place will not be remembered, and the memory of everything that this place once was will haunt you forever.
Why? Everything I did was to protect and empower my people. My people deserve a better life. Protect my people.
Understanding what he did, the king burst into a gigantic explosion, and his soul and pain attached itself to the land around him, creating soul sand, a block forever haunted by the regret and sorrow of a king who tried taking over the world to save his people, but eventually led to the demise of everything and everyone he cared about. The mysterious man placed the last block of bedrock, closing the barrier between the overworld and the kingdom of Neph. And since nobody would ever come back to this place, the people above invented a world that was a mix between Neph and Never. They called it the Nether, and ever since, nobody stepped foot in there again. Oh god damn it!
Can anyone stop the noise that's inside my head?